Give your kids the best kind of help that fits them specifically, not what society necessarily expects. There's no way I'm going to be insulted when I call my video channel Crippled CEO. I don't think you should be putting money away for your kids to go to college. I know, this is sacrilege. Every good parent, after they pay for the necessities of survival, are obligated to put some of the remainder into the college funds for the kiddo. It's some kind of a sacred responsibility. And maybe this was a good idea 30 years ago. The reality today, though, is that unless your kid wants to be a doctor, an engineer, a scientist, an educator, or a lawyer, traditional college likely isn't the best course. It is egregiously overpriced. Of all the degrees that are a waste of money, I am particularly annoyed by one of the most popular ones, business. Spending $100,000 to get an MBA is dumb, stupid, moronic, imbecilic. You get the idea. I'm a high school dropout. After a decade of running my own businesses, I had this insecurity that there was some secret knowledge in a business degree that I was missing out on. I decided to start taking online classes at a university. The only problem is that I kept leaving my books in shrink wrap on my desk in my office. I wasn't reading any of the material. I wasn't paying attention in the lectures. I was just logging in to make attendance. And after a year, I was consistently getting perfect scores in every quiz and test. Apparently, actually running a business also teaches you the material. Go figure. And instead of paying 6 figures to get this information, I made money while I learned it. Definitely do put some money aside, preferably in an investment account that compounds to give your kid a head start. Just don't pigeonhole what it can be used for by calling it a college fund. If your kid wants to go into business, instead of spending it on college, let her use some money to start 2 or 3 different businesses over the course of 5 years or so. Even if they fail completely, she still got the education. She can then use that knowledge and experience on the next thing she does, just like college. But there's an excellent chance that one of them doesn't fail. And now your education fund isn't just an education fund, it's a successful investment. If your kid wants to be a writer, an artist, a photographer, a filmmaker, or any other creator, instead of going to college for this, she can use that money to live while she spends a year or 2 writing and creating full time, honing her craft while educating herself online. If she wants, she can hire specialized coaches or instructors to help her advance. Learning how to run a business or getting better at a craft like writing requires actually doing it. You can read about doing sit-ups all day, but you don't get anything out of it until you actually do them. Giving your kid money to get the actual experience is going to be more beneficial, I promise. Or for another option entirely, you and your kid can decide to let the Head Start Fund continue growing and compounding while they forge their own career path without any additional financial support. If you put $200 a month into an investment fund and that investment earns a very reasonable 8% a year, your child will have $1,061,940.70 when they turn 45, almost $1.6 million when they turn 50. Working an average job that pays the bills for a couple decades and then cashing out over $1 million at 45 and then deciding what to do from there is not a bad plan. Plenty of people end up doing the average job thing on accident, but without the $1 million payout in their 40s. This also seems like a better alternative to getting a degree you might not use. The world is evolving rapidly. Most of the jobs your kid will have in 18 years don't even exist right now. It's impossible to predict what role universities will play in the future. Give your kids the best kind of help that fits them specifically, not what society necessarily expects. Maybe that means going to college, but there's a good chance that it doesn't. Who taught me a lot of things without having to go to college last night? Your mom. I know that college is when you're supposed to have your wild, crazy experiences, but she begs to differ. Another thing your mom does is she subscribes to my channels and likes all my videos, and I think you should too. Thank you so much for watching, and you will see me on the next one.